Good morning, everybody. Well, it's not quite yet time for work day, maybe an hour away, but Mel said let's go swimming before everybody gets here. So I'm gonna go take a swim with the wife. You ready?
I'm ready.
And then I'm gonna come back and get a video started for you all. So see you shortly, and wherever you're at, I hope you're having a great day. So Mel and I had our morning swim. You're still wet, huh? And ready to get to work right now, but there's some crabs at the gate, so I got to get some crabs away from the gate. Good morning.
Wow, it's a big one now.
Yeah, some nice ones. Very nice. Yeah. Get some of those, Mel. Speaking of crabs, look, there's Joel.
Morning.
The tiny crab. Oh yeah.
Wow.
Just put both of those.
Arabe, bisa may arabe. Yan na lang. Bata? Ha?
3 kilo saja mun 3 biruan gitu ano pa nga malakad nga.
You want
Yeah, put that one in your hand. I like that one right there.
still alive?
Ay isa man para no isang tunga siguro. Tunga pa duro bilin 3 kilo jam ako dun ang kiluan ko.
Good morning, class.
Good morning.
You pay this then with
My money's all inside. You have to go and get it. Good morning. I know what I'm having for lunch now. Yay, yay. Love it. So I thought we were all set and ready to cast those walls this morning. Cast those bottom portions. We did some forming this morning. We were right at the cusp of doing it. And I went inside to take a break a second. Here come Marvin knocking at the door, bro. Joel ran a screw through the PPR. Oh my God. And it's already all formed down in there. So now they're in there having to bust the form apart. And they're busting the form apart right now. And I've got to go back down in there, do a repair on the PPR. And the very thing I said this morning, even when Marvin was helping me, check for the pipes. Check for the pipes before you run anything. Check for the pipes. And it's part of it. It is part of it. But it's a setback again, because now we got to deform that whole area, and I've got to go in there and do splice work, and then I've got to re-pressure test that PPR and make sure that there's no leak on the new that we're going to put in before we reform it back and then pour. So this is part of it. It's a setback. I'm a little discouraged. I can't hold their hands on it. It happens. Jobs do not work out perfect all the time. The main thing, if you want to look to the bright side, the blessing side of it is that it was known that it happened. It wasn't a screw ran in and left and then we pulled the forms off, that we would have had a piece of PPR with a screw hole inside of it. So the blessing is that we know it was there. and we were able to get in there and to fix it before we cast that concrete. But man, them just willy-nilly running screws, nails, concrete nailing into work to be pipes. These are some of the challenges you're gonna have when you cast for them. They're so used to coming back and cutting a groove and sticking all the pipes in later. But not here on this. It's all cast in, and it's got to be right. It has to be right. Well, it's just after lunchtime. We got the PPR pipe repaired. It was a very tight place to get into, especially with that tool, to heat that up and fuse that together. But Marvin and I, we worked on it together. Actually, the first round, it was in a very tight place. I tell you, man, we didn't get that stuck together in time, trying to fight it in that tight corner. Sure enough, it had a drip. We just went ahead and cut that all loose and made a whole new area in it and got it right. And we pressure tested, put up about 52 psi on it and let it hold for a while throughout lunch, and it all turned out to be just fine. Yeah, it's tied up against it. Doing those low areas where all the plumbing is down there with scrap. That way we can easily see, real easy to drill all the holes, let all the plumbing protrude through, and not waste a full 4x8 sheet of that plywood right there. Once we drill a bunch of holes in a 4x8 sheet of plywood and we pull it, now it's got holes all in it that is messed up. We want to use that sheet on somewhere else. So like I say, we're going to do maybe about 16-inch layer across the bottom where all the pipes protrude through, get above that, and then pour with solid sheets the rest of the way up. I'll show you right here as well. Right here is punch through, and you notice I leave a lot of play in this, and the reason being, when you get ready to pull that form, you're going to regret it if you made everything fit super tight. A little bit of slag that'll build in there around that when you pour, it's no big deal. And you want that form to be able to pull off. So we're just, like I say, about 16 inches up, scrap, where we've got all this plumbing coming out. And then after that, we'll be above that line, like you see right there at that drain. And we can continue on up with solid sheets the rest of it. Just being really loose with my materials, just letting it get chopped in a billion pieces all the time. Sure, we could just drill it, form all of that, waste that sheet, and move on. But I'm trying to be a little bit of a miser and save those wherever I can. So again, that's why we're making some of that out of scrap, is being frugal here. Meanwhile, Ambin and Uncle Malong and Mop and Joel, some also, and Nardo have all been working up here, setting forms again, moving on across the front of the house here now. Getting this all set up. They've got all this formed here, ready. They got that pipe up there, plumbing pipe recessed in. Earlier, Joel, he asked me, what do we call this part right here? It's threaded on both ends in the US. I said, well, a lot of times we'll call it a nipple. And he said, here in the Philippines, that they call it nipply. I said, is that what you said, Joel? Nipply? Yeah. So see, nipple, nipply. All right, so you see the forming's coming right along in here. It's looking good. You see these ties they put here? Put a nail, they super tighten that wire across there to squeeze and pull that form together from one side to the other. Don't just count on those nails only. Of course, we could have used screws, but I'm gonna tell you, it don't matter if it's a Phillips, it don't matter if it's a Torx, when you set those screws into this cocoa lumber and that resin gets hot and then it locks around that screw, good luck getting it out. And speaking of that, someone got a laugh here recently because I talked about the cocoa lumber and I said about it being so soft, but then I also spoke about being so hard, and that is so true. One piece may be as soft as butter, and the next piece you can't even hardly get a drill bit through it. That is the way cocoa lumber is. You could call cocoa lumber the hardwood softwood, the softwood hardwood. It's all a matter of which piece you pick up. So Joel right here, he is what they call a mason here in the Philippines. Kind of like the word mason, but mason. And he's pretty smart, he's pretty crafty. How many years you been doing this work?
Maybe graduated in high school.
Since you were in high school?
Yes.
So what, maybe like 15, 14,
yes.
something like that?
Yes.
That's a pretty long time because you're like 100 years old now. How old are you now, Joel?
44.
44? Well, I tell you, you do some pretty good work. And so my subscribers, they joke and laugh because they'll hear me complain about the cocoa lumber, how hard it is.
Yes.
But then I'll complain how soft it is. It's both, right?
Both.
You don't know. You can't put a drill bit
Yes.
through some of it, right? And then the next, it's soft like butter. Yeah. So I was telling them it's the hardwood softwood. Isn't that
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't know what you're gonna get, and a piece that's soft today, next week can be hard like concrete.
Yes.
Yeah. It's crazy. Well, Joel, keep up the good work here. This is my to-go-to guy. He's not my contractor. He's not a supervisor. He is my lead mason though, and he's the one that hears his name called the most here. Joel, because I can always count on him to check stuff for me.
Yes.
I appreciate you, man. Better instead of dumping it all inside of it. Much better. Yeah, hey, be careful trying to punch a rod in there. You may break the pipe. Don't put that rod. In there.
No.
We got power tools here. You all that ask about all this power tools, and they roll the core up on that saw when I'm not here using it myself. They put it away and they go right back to each one of their own personal hand saw that it is like their pocket knife. It's what they use all the time. It's what they're used to. It's hard to get them to change. Funny. I'm glad you saw that. We had to do frog rescue. There was a frog down inside the cement. How he wasn't covered, I don't know, man. How he wasn't covered in concrete. But he must have just kept coming up. Man, I don't know how he did that, but only his feet That's cement, but I got my arm down in there and grabbed him out, me and Marvin. Imagine, be smelling that dead frog in the wall. Well, I would like to give you a great end of the day wrap-up tour here of the property and all we got done. It is pouring down rain. Right here, 30 minutes before time to end the day, it has come a downpour. It's already stopped us like 5 times today. Everybody have to go somewhere, duck out for a minute, wait for the rain to pass for a little bit. We get back started. Here come the rain again, put everything away because we had a lot of power like cordless tools out, you know, the impacts, drills, things like that, and tape measures, all these, you know, stuff you don't want to get wet. Get everything back out, get started again, back and forth. This has been going on all day, and finally it set in pretty good here at the last. It's raining pretty decent, so it's no wrap-up tour, but take my word for it, everything's going great. It absolutely is. Now I do have a little bit of a tarp ahead of me right here where I'm standing right now, and I can show you that the work is coming on down around the side here now. Yeah, the forming is coming on down through here. We're right here getting near Tankzilla, and we'll cover this again on another day. Actually, some of you wanting to know about cost difference, I shot some video on prices on water tanks, and I'm kind of gathering up the data slowly to put together a price comparison of pouring this in the ground versus the cost of those expensive tanks. But back on this, you see we're forming on down the side here now. Man, it is really pouring down. Woo! And thank goodness for that tarp. So it's coming right on along. A lot of this just looks like, you know, just this their typical way of doing things right here. This isn't nothing special that I'm doing. This is the typical way that Filipinos come in and form on these floors and things like this to pour a slab overhead. My goodness, it is raining so hard. All right, well, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm gonna go on inside before I just get my camera and everything just soaking wet. I hope you enjoyed and got some good information out of what we got done here today. Feel free to ask questions. I don't mind at all. I'll try to cover any of your questions to clear your mind of anything we're doing here. I'm excited. Before long, we will be getting to the point of doing some major concrete pouring again, and this house will be rising on up. I'm very excited for it. Thank you very much for watching today's video. God bless, and see you on the next one.